All right, so our story kicks off in this moment of just total high drama. You've got King David, he's old, on his deathbed, and there's this big fight over who's going to be the next king. But the prophet Nathan and Solomon's mom, Bathsheba, they act fast. The order is given, the holy oil is poured, and then you just hear the trumpets blasting as the people shout, "Long live King Solomon, a brand new era had just begun." So you have to imagine this. A young King Solomon, and he totally gets the massive weight of the crown he's just been given. I mean, the responsibility to lead a whole nation, it's got to be overwhelming. And then one night, in a dream, God himself appears to him and says, basically, ask for whatever you want. Can you even imagine just an incredible once-in-all-of-history moment? And Solomon's choice. This is what makes him so special. He doesn't ask for a long life. He doesn't ask for tons of money. He doesn't even ask for his enemies to be defeated. No. He asks for wisdom, an understanding mind, he says, a heart that can tell the difference between good and evil, all so he could rule God's people fairly. And this humble, selfless prayer, you better believe God was pleased with that. And it really didn't take long for that new wisdom to get put to the test. And what a test it was. Two women show up before him, and they're both claiming to be the mother of the same baby. It's literally his word against hers, with zero witnesses. I mean, how could anyone possibly figure out the truth? Okay, so Solomon's solution here is just wow. It's shocking, and it's absolutely brilliant. He just says, bring me a sword. His plan? He's going to cut the baby in two and give half to each woman. The fake mother, she's like, yep, sounds fair. But the real mother, just horrified. She screams out, no, give the baby to her, just let him live. And boom, in that one moment, he revealed the truth. His reputation for God-given wisdom was cemented, and the whole kingdom was just left in total awe. So with this incredible wisdom as his foundation, Solomon kicks off this amazing era of peace and wealth like nothing they'd ever seen before. He starts his biggest project ever, building this magnificent temple for God in Jerusalem. It took 7 years, just breathtaking work. Israel at this point is at the absolute peak of its power. But even then, at the temple's dedication ceremony, as the actual glory of God fills the building, Solomon shows this incredible humility. He basically says, look, heaven itself can't contain you, God, so how could this house that I've built possibly do it? It's just a moment of really deep understanding and true worship. His fame spread so far and wide that royalty from distant lands, like the famous Queen of Sheba, they travel for months just to see his wisdom and the splendor of his kingdom for themselves. And when she gets there, she's just blown away. She admits that what she'd heard didn't even come close to the real thing. But it's here, right at the very peak of all this glory, that the story takes a really dark, really tragic turn. See, God had appeared to Solomon twice, blessing him, yes, but also giving him a super clear warning. Do not turn away to other gods. It was a warning that Solomon, tragically, was not going to listen to. 1,000. Just let that sink in. That's the staggering number of foreign wives and concubines that Solomon took. And a lot of them were from nations that worshipped other gods. Sure, they were often for political alliances, but they came with a devastating spiritual price tag. And they would become the very thing that pulled his heart away from the God who gave him absolutely everything. And the Bible is painfully direct about what caused his downfall. It wasn't one big thing, but more of a slow drift. It says that when Solomon was old, his wives turned his heart away after other gods. It's that simple and that tragic. So the key thing to get here is that this wasn't some overnight collapse. It was a slow, step-by-step erosion of what he believed. It all started with marrying foreign women he wasn't supposed to. Then it moved to just tolerating their gods. And from there, he was actively building altars for them. And the final step, he started participating in their worship himself. Just a slow, tragic slide into disobedience. And the consequences? Oh, they are catastrophic. God tells him that because he disobeyed, the kingdom is going to be ripped away from his family. Now, for the sake of his father, David, it won't happen while Solomon is still alive. But the judgment is set. The golden age is absolutely going to end in a painful, shattering breakup. So after Solomon dies, his son Rehoboam takes the throne, and the people come to him with a pretty simple request. Hey, can you lighten up on the heavy workload your dad put on us? The older, wiser counselors tell him, yeah, listen to them. But Rehoboam, nope, he completely rejects their advice and turns to his arrogant young friends instead. And this is his infamous reply. It is just a jaw-dropping display of arrogance. He tells the people, My little finger is thicker than my father's waist. Basically, you thought my dad was tough? I'm going to be way tougher. That single, foolish, prideful statement was the spark that lit the whole rebellion on fire. The reaction is immediate. The 10 northern tribes revolt. They break away completely. The glorious, united kingdom that David and Solomon had built is just shattered. It's now two rival nations, Israel in the north and the smaller kingdom of Judah down in the south. Okay, so now our focus shifts over to that new northern kingdom, Israel. And almost immediately, it just plunges into spiritual decay. I mean, its whole foundation is built on rebellion, and not just against King Rehoboam, but against the God of their ancestors. So to keep his people from traveling south to the temple in Jerusalem, Israel's very first king, a guy named Jeroboam, he sets up 2 golden calves for them to worship. He actually declares, "Here are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt." It's a complete betrayal right from the very start. And this spiritual corruption just spirals downward over the next few generations, hitting absolute rock bottom during the reign of King Ahab and his notorious wife, Queen Jezebel. They don't just tolerate idol worship, they institutionalize it. They make the worship of the false god Baal the official state religion. But in this darkest hour, God raises up a powerful prophet, Elijah. And he issues this incredibly dramatic public challenge on Mount Carmel. Picture this. It's him, one guy, against 450 prophets of Baal. The challenge is simple. They'll each prepare a sacrifice, and the God who answers with fire from heaven, well, that's the one true God. So, after the prophets of Baal are screaming and crying out for hours with absolutely no result, Elijah steps up and prays this simple, powerful prayer. And immediately, fire just flashes down from heaven. It doesn't just burn up the sacrifice, it consumes the wood, the stones, even the water in the trench around the altar. And the people, they fall on their faces and cry out, "The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God." Wow, so this whole epic story, it leaves us with this timeless, really powerful warning. It just goes to show you that wisdom, wealth, success, all of it is ultimately empty if it's not anchored in just steady obedience to God. And that leaves us with this final thought to chew on. Solomon asked for wisdom and he got it, big time. But through 1,000 little compromises, he lost his obedience. And his story really forces us to ask ourselves, what is wisdom really worth? What's the value of knowledge, or talent, or success, if the heart that holds it all turns away from its true foundation?